Hello everyone, Donna here. How are you? Thank you for joining me today. It's lovely to see you. So I'm going to use my correspondence kit today because I realise I haven't actually done anything with it yet since having released it. So there is a flick through of this kit on the channel. There's a flick through playlist, so it's all on there where I take you through the kit. It's available on Etsy and Kofi. So yeah, I'm going to have a play with this, and what I thought I would do, because it's kind of correspondence, letters, you know, things like that, envelopes, that type of stuff, I'm kind of going to do like a folio type thing. I have absolutely no idea, other than I know I'm going to use this blank. This is a paper collection that I've just finished. And I thought it would make an ideal, or it could be used as an ideal base for a folio. It's already constructed. We've even got a little pocket here. So I'm going to do something with this. I also have lots of recycled envelopes just from birthday cards and junk mail and all types of things. I've got some bags, some plastic bags, some paper bags. I have this type of stuff, which is like envelopes from I think this is my your creative studio. So you know when you get those little stamps, if you've ever got anything from there. Envelopes there. Don't know what that is. Some junk mail. So yeah, so I've got some of those things. I've also got this type of stuff, packaging from when, you know, you get bits of paper, and some Tim Holtz stuff with a flap I always think is good because you've already got the kind of pattern paper on it. And you've already got kind of like the flips as well that can be utilised. So I've got that type of thing, and this that I found as well. So I'm going to kind of use my kit, but I also want to kind of keep it quite recycled and repurposed. And other than that, I you know, as I say, I have no plans. So the first thing I'm going to do is cover this, because this is a slightly shiny paper. It's a little bit embossed here, it's a little bit raised. I just think it would be easier to cover it first, and then it will be easier to stick my paper onto. And for that, I'm just going to use this paper here. It's like a recycled wrapping paper, gift wrap. Okay, so this is measured. I'm not sure how much I'm fitting on here. It's a fairly large piece of paper, but I will do my best to get as much on as possible. So if I just use this little thing here, this just helps me to know how much space to leave around the outside. It just makes it look nice and neat, I suppose, uniform. It's not necessary, but it's something that I like to do. And I also have this little tool, which is to help you miter corners. So you pop that on like that at a right angle, and what you can do is just go straight in with your craft knife, but since this is quite cumbersome, I'm just gonna draw the line instead, and you just pop it on like that. And again, it's just to help you with the distance for the mitering. It's not necessary. It's just something I have, so, you know, it's kind of just something that I want to use. I want to remove this pocket. I'm going to add it back on later, but I mean, I could even actually keep this pattern because we have that colour red So I could actually just utilise that how it is. So I'm just going to kind of try and carefully peel this off. Okay, and then next I'm going to cover across here with my double-sided tape. I don't have any wide tape, so this is kind of going to have to do. So I'll just see how I get on with this. I might put a little bit of the collal on as well. But obviously I want to try and avoid any bubbling. I want to avoid putting anything here on the folds of the spine, so that I don't put pressure onto it. Well, in my head I'm thinking if it's, you know, if it's stuck, it's going to kind of make it more difficult for those folds to bend. So I'm thinking if I just do it like this with some thinner tape, I'll just avoid those folds. I don't know if there's any logic in that, if there's any truth to it, but it's just something I'm doing. So now I've got all that on, I'm going to give them a really good burnish down, get that glue nice and stuck. So I kind of know now where to place this, kind of best I can in the middle of here, and I'm going to just remove all of the tape, turn it over and stick it down. I'm going to get a bone folder next, and I'm just going to score down the side just to help it fold. And I'll just stand it up. Okay, and then I'm going to pop some double-sided tape onto here and double-sided tape onto here. Doing a little bit of repair work here. This seems to have come away. I mean, it's going to get wrapped anyway, but just to be safe, cut off any of this excess tape that's come over. And again, a good burnish down. I just find this makes it easier to lift the backing, because it keeps the glue where it is and doesn't lift up with the backing. So I just find this a useful extra step, and then we can take the backing off. Let's stand it up and fold this side in. Same on here. I always do the shorter sides first. Give that press down. Now, something I forgot to do on this side, which I'm going to remember to do here, is you see this? It's a little bit pointy where I've got a little bit of leftover paper from where I mitered. What you can do is get your bone folder, and this bit here, just bend in, fold it in, and it will stop that from happening, and you will get a nice finish on your corner. Just like that. So you can see how nice that corner's finished compared to this one. Well, hopefully you'll be able to see. It's not a huge deal. It's just, you know, that little bit extra. You end up with this kind of nice finish here, as opposed to this here where you've got like a big lump, if you can see that. But that's just one of those things. So here you can see it better. A nice finish on that paper. So I'm just going to now spread all of this out. Get rid of any bubbles or warping that we might have, or attempts to.
Wasn't I meant to lie in your arms here for a while? I'm alive and I take you in. I've been falling, calling. When I reach out, you will hold on.
Next, let's get our spine put on. So I just need to cut a length, which is the height of the folio. Give that a little mark. So what I am actually going to do for this is put a little bit of collal on the spine, because this is quite a thick material. So it won't go through. I'm just going to give a really thin layer. It is really sticky, that tape. This is just, you know, a little bit of extra support because it's going to be opened and closed. Then we can just peel the back off here. I've cut the liner pieces out, and to get the correct measurements, what I did was measure across here and down here and reduce that measurement by 1/4 of an inch. So going down this way, it was 9 3/4, so I cut it at 9 1/2, and going across it was 7 5/8, so I cut that at 7 3/8, and that is going to sit on there. I will put some more fabric tape down there once I've got these stuck down, but before I stick them down, I want to have a look at using some envelopes. And I'm thinking of having one here and one here. And obviously, if I'm going to do this, I need to stick that down first so that I can stick the paper over the top. And then this one, I was thinking of having underneath like this. So that would go underneath. That there. That there. Having some form of closure on this bit, which opens up to here. And then in the kit, there are these tag booklets, tag pockets, I think I call them. So there's a tag and a pocket for each side. And what I'm thinking of doing is attaching it so that it lifts up, and doing maybe like kind of like a waterfall thing type thing. So there's lots for me to think about. I also need to cover this. So what I'm going to do is get that covered first, get all of these tags cut out, then I will measure up anything for the envelopes that needs to be measured. And we will start to put everything together. I was thinking that this might be nice to go onto here. I think this is a little bit too much. now that I'm looking at everything. So the easiest way to do that would be just to stick it on and then cut round it. What I might do is stick it on and then even fold this over, just to strengthen that side a little bit. I'm going to use tape again. Honestly, I'm going to be running out of tape at this rate. Again, because this is printed on copy paper, if I was using something thicker, I would likely not use tape. As I say, I quite often use collal, but with this being copy paper, I just kind of don't want to use anything wet. It actually doesn't do a bad job at all, and it very rarely, well, I've never known it to buckle. Having said that, I've only used it on more kind of design paper and a thinner cardstock, not on copy paper. So I'm just not really in the mood to risk it. Okay, so let's just get this on here. I'm just going to take this down a little bit because I want to fold that over. But I don't quite need all that. So what I'm going to do is just fold it so that I can see where I'm going to get crossovers, and then I know those bits need to be removed. Okay, so this needs to be removed. And that little triangle there. Okay. And I think I'm actually going to use a little bit of wet glue because it's going to be on the inside, and we've got a nice double layer now on there. Okay, I'm going to give that a second to dry before I try folding it, and while I do that, I'm going to measure up for the envelopes. So with this being on the outside, I think I may stick to something like this so it still looks kind of file folder-ish. So I may use that one on there. I've also got this one, which I really like. So I could maybe use this section of it. Or that section. That one might be quite nice. This might be an option. Now this is a freebie. So this is available to download. It's on my Kofi. So I may cover that one in that one. And I think the easiest way to do this is simply to stick them down and then just cut round them. There's various ways of doing this. A really quick way that I find is to mark maybe a little bit over so I know to cut this way of that line, and then length like that, and then I'll just cut. So I'm carefully opening this back side of the envelope with a ruler because I will find it easier to cover this section when it's deconstructed. I've got a few rits, but that won't matter when, once it's stuck back together again, because then I can just cut the piece of paper and cut round using a little bit of the pumice stone ink around the outside, but not a lot. just to define the edge. Okay, so I've changed my mind a little bit. So instead of doing this first, I'm actually going to do the backs of the envelopes because I will need to know what's going on with a magnet. So if I need to put a magnet here, then I can do it before I stick it down. And if I need to put a magnet on the front, then I can do that before I stick the front down. So it's better to do this first. And I'm just going to choose some kind of coordinating papers, I suppose. So it might be nice to do something plainer on this back side of the envelope. And I'm going to actually use Pritt Stick because it's not as wet as a wet glue. And I'm running out of tape, so I need to kind of just be mindful of how much tape I'm using, otherwise I won't be able to finish this project today. I'm sure this is going to be the right way when it's down. And honestly, I think what I'll do is just cut. I don't need to be folding over. It doesn't really need strengthening all that much. So I'm just going to cut away. And I can just re-round that corner. So same with these. Okay, so that's how that side's going to look once it's put back together again. That side's obviously going to be the one that's tucked under, and I'm going to do the other two envelopes in exactly the same way, just these back flaps, and then I can think about getting the bit stuck on the front. Just a point to make with this one is, this one I've done it how it's, you know, how it is in an envelope, which means I'm going to have to do it that way because when it comes down, this will be facing the correct way. This one, I need the bottom at the top because this one is going to come down like that. So I need to make sure my paper, is facing the correct way. So I'm actually going to work this way instead of that way so that my paper goes on in the right orientation. I hope that makes sense. I am somewhat constructed, so this is dried. I've bent it again, ready to go back onto there. I have backed all of the envelopes, haven't stuck them down yet, but I have stuck all the paper on the flaps. I'm debating whether to cover the inside of there. So this one will pop up like that. This one is going to pop down like that. This one is going to open this way, and I have backed the inside of that one as well. I have also cut out all of the tag pockets with the pockets that go with them. I just need to think about now how they are going to be constructed onto here. So as I was saying before, I was thinking of doing some kind of maybe something like this that kind of lifts up. Obviously nothing's stuck down at the moment. I'm not sure. There's various options as well of how to cut these tags out to give you different ways of using them. So I think this is a good place to stop for the moment because I've kind of done quite a few different things here, and I think it might be an idea if I was to explain the tags to you at the beginning of another video. So I will do that, but for now everything is measured and cut. I want to decide how things are closed, and do I want Velcro, ribbon, this, that and the other. So I will say goodbye for now, and I will go ahead and have a think about that. And we will continue with this on another day. There will be a video after this one which isn't related, but I will be coming back with this at some point to continue with you. If you want to have a closer look at the kits, they are available in Kofi and Etsy. I will leave the links below. But obviously, you know, this type of project can be made with any paper that you've got. This is quite a unique project because obviously the size of it, I'm repurposing something else. So I'm kind of working with that. But, you know, if you've got something lying around at home which is similar, you might want to have a go at doing something as well. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.